Fox News has set the rules of the debates for the GOP presidential candidates, and some Republicans are not at all happy about it. First of all, before we get to the butthurt Republicans, we will be telling you the actual way that they're going to be set up. So Fox News announced on Thursday that the debate competitors would be determined by an average of the last 5 national major polls of the GOP race. The top 10 competitors will be allowed to debate, and the field could theoretically expand to 11 if there's a tie for 10th. The network emphasized that candidates who don't make the cut will be provided with airtime on August the 6th, the day before the debate is held. So 10 people taking part in a presidential debate, that's a lot of people to try to fit in. It means that in all likelihood, you're not going to be able to find out too much about any one of them. But if you're number 11 or number 12 and you don't make the cut, then that probably hurts you a little bit. And one man who so far is not making that cut in national polls is Rick Santorum, who said, "I'm probably the best person to comment on this. In January of 2012, I was at 4% in the national polls, and I won the Iowa caucuses. I don't know if I was last in the polls, but I was pretty close to last. The idea that a national poll has any relationship to the viability of a candidate, ask Rudy Giuliani that. Ask Phil Gramm that. You can go on down the list of folks who were doing real well in national polls and didn't win a single state and were not a viable candidate." So we've got some more quotes from him, but what do you think about that argument for why these rules are not well set up?
Here's something I really don't often say. I 100% agree with Rick Santorum.
That's true.
He's completely right. Those were not viable candidates. Those were terrible candidates. He was at 4%. He did finish second to Mitt Romney. He did win the Iowa caucus. Like
and other states.
Where you are at a poll in August is not a fair reflection of where you are as a candidate. Also, these guys aren't running nationally then. They are running in a specific state. So looking at national polls when he might be doing well in Iowa and then not being in that debate impacts things. So Fox is having a significant impact. In fact, what Fox is doing by orchestrating this in this manner is sort of encouraging the coalescing around a major candidate, which Fox probably wants. Very early on. That said, I'm not sure Fox is in a conspiratorial mode here. As far as the television production is, you're right, 10 people is a lot, 12 is, but they say 20? They're expected to be, this article continues, they're expected to be 16 people in a debate. 16. So first of all, that lets you do a Sweet 16, and they should definitely do a tournament, right? And in fact,
we can set that up.
Put down your computer for just a second. So let's not, no cheating, don't look at the monitors. Okay, right now, 16 people expected to run. Let's go. Real quick, you can't think about it. We'll start with you, and we'll just keep going until we stop naming it, and those people who we don't name have no chance. Go.
Ben Carson.
Good
Rick
sir.
Perry.
Jeb Bush.
Marco Rubio.
Oh, you stole mine.
Chris Christie.
Ted Cruz.
Shit. Jindal.
Lindsey Graham.
Carly Fiorina. That's 9.
Rick Santorum?
Oh, that's 10. That's good. I think you're out. I think you're out. You're definitely out. It goes to me. We've named 10.
I've got one ready.
You do? You totally have one ready? That sucks. Mitt Romney?
Oh, John Kasich.
John Kasich, he probably counts. He's one of the 10. Chris Christie. Did somebody?
I said it.
I'm out. Damn it.
Huckabee.
Oh,
so you win.
John wins.
Okay.
Yes.
John wins, and we still left four terrible, terrible people out.
No, there's 20.
And, look, and many of those are not.
I don't know. This
they're
article
not
said
actually
16.
viable
No, this article
candidates.
says 16, but there
16.
are 20. There are 20.
Theoretically.
It's clear that there are 20. Let me check. 20 candidates will run in the GOP primaries, but when the dust settles, only 20 of them will not be our next president.
And so many of them aren't viable candidates. And also, we can't, like, the media has to pretend that most of the people running actually want to be president. But we know, that's not going to happen. Many of them don't think they'll be president. They don't even necessarily care. They just want to do it so that they can get back on Fox News, they can get back in the media, they can sell their book, they can get the speaking fees. It's just like a job promotional thing. It's like a collaboration on YouTubers. Like, it's not actually about that thing. It's about what it can bring you. And so, should Fox News be obligated to give them the screen time?
We forgot Scott Walker, by the way. It's a big one to leave out.
And
leads.
Louis Gohmert, perhaps. And so, but then how do you choose the top 10? Because it's a ridiculous. It would be a farce to have 20 people on the stage. It's already. I mean, the whole thing is a farce to begin with.
I mean, so here's how you do it. I mean, I would take everyone who's running, who is, other than fringe candidates. You obviously have to have a point where you're cutting off, but distinguishing Carly Fiorina from Rick Santorum or Carly Fiorina from Ben Carson, that's not a distinction that can be made. Like they have the same chance. So I would do something fun. I would literally have a tournament. You have a Sweet 16. I would put 4 groups of 4 early on, you know, and you see this 4, and then you see this 4, and then these 4, and then the people who maybe did the best, you move them on.
Like the Young Turks did with the congressional debate they held here, right? So they had 3 series of, I think, 4 people or 5 people.
Yeah, where they could actually debate.
And they could actually talk and debate. Yeah, you get to hear their positions, even though you might not get to hear them rebutted by someone else. You get to hear their positions on the. So that was I think it's very educational. I think it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, and they might worry that if they do like the top 8 and then the bottom 8, then no one's going to watch the bottom 8. But just throw one of the likely to advance candidates in the second 8.
You mix the groups.
Exactly,
you do it like the World Cup. You again, you got some
people tune in.
Right, you put the guy.
And it's just like the World Cup. There'll be little to no scoring. The thing is that these debates are really important because we're going to learn so much about how much these GOP guys don't know about things. So that's why you really need to. What are we going to learn? We're not going to learn anything. We all know where they stand on everything. They're all trying to be right, farther to the right than the next guy. They're all trying to be dumber and more ignorant. And we're in the dark ages, right, politically in this country. And if you need any, look at the GOP's. Look at that. That is the dark age. Those are people committed to anti-intellectualism. Those are people committed to anti-science. Rand Paul. That's another one.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah, we forgot 2 big ones.
Yeah. So those are people committed to anti-intellectualism, anti-science, we're going to talk later on in the show about how they don't even want us to study our own Earth. So. We're in the dark age, and then so now the Democrats are playing the role of moderate Republicans, and so we have no Democrats left. We have no liberals. We have no progressives. We have Bernie Sanders, but everyone knows he's not a viable candidate.
Yeah.
You said anti-science, anti-intellectual. I would also say anti-seminal thinking about the future of this country.
Yes. Look, the only thing that we're likely to honestly get out of this that hopefully could help is they're going to be asked some crazy questions. Do you breathe through your mouth? And then they're going to feel obligated to raise their hand, and we're going to get the picture of every one of those candidates raising their hand to some crazy thing, like do you believe in climate change? Do you think same-sex marriage should be allowed? And they're going to have to prove how crazy they are. That's really the only purpose these serve now.
I would definitely, from a TV point of view, I would definitely, and especially those early debates where there are that many candidates, I would think of some interesting way to do it like that, and then have 3 or 4, mainstream Republicans who disagree with each other on many things, or at least disagree with each other personally, and have them pick winners for me. You can't have people vote. That's crazy for winners, although that's intriguing.
It's intriguing.
But then, like Ben Carson would get his people.
Yeah, well, that's why. That's what drives Sean Hannity crazy when Ron Paul would win the straw poll, whatever the voting would.
Right.
On their Fox polls, who won the debate, it would always be Ron Paul. And, of course, he would just dismiss it.
Right.
Yeah, and we already know in advance that if Chris Christie doesn't make the top 10, it's only because his state loves him so much and they don't want to see him go.
That is. And he, at a debate, say what you want, I think he would really squash the people against them. Plus, he would out-debate them.